Uh, I remember we had one kid, he must have been about 7 or 8, and he just walked up to the stall and just went, "Are these drugs?" And I told him, yeah, they were. So we're in Montville, we're sort of just outside town, up here in the Sunshine Coast Hinterland on the Blackall Range. We've been operating this shed for about 5 years. I think we started just playing around for the first sort of 6 months before we actually started the business, but yeah, it's about 5 years in total we've been growing here. Pop down here, these are our couple of steriliser barrels. Open it up. This is our mushroom substrate in the bags there, so that's a mix of sawdust and soy hulls. Sawdust is just the carbon source that the mushrooms grow on, like they grow on logs in nature.
So this is a bit different than say your soil-based mushrooms and that's it.
Totally different. Yeah. So those sort of mushrooms in nature would just grow out of the ground. So they use a compost, they'll make that out of manure and straw or something like that, and they'll grow them in sort of big bags like that and sort of grow out the top of the bags, whereas we have like a sort of artificial log like that. So we would just...
So sort of just, I guess,
we just cut the side and then just grow out the side as if they're growing out the side of a tree.
That's awesome,
Me and my partner Kat, we both started the business together. I sort of do most of the farm side of things and she sort of covers our business development, admin and accounts and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely a team between the two of us. So you can see behind us, this is our little clean room here. So you can see the big filter in the room there. That's called a HEPA filter. So what that basically does is it sucks the air in the top and it pushes it out a really thick filter. So it filters all the particles out the air. So any mold spores, any bits of bacteria, any fungal spores. Mushroom farming is a pretty busy thing, so we harvest twice a day, every day. Usually on a Sunday I try and just come once, but yeah, pretty much every other day we're doing twice a day.
What have we got in here?
So this is called our incubation room. This is where after we inoculate the bags with the mushroom culture, they come in here so we can actually grow the cultures. I can show you here. You can see all the little white bits. This is the actual, this is the actual mushroom organism that we grow, and you can see them just starting to grow through the sawdust in that bag.
Mycelium.
That's the mycelium, yeah.
This one started to really kick me out. So how many weeks in do you think we're looking here?
That one would have been done probably last week on Monday, so that's going to be ready to move in another couple of days. You can see all the white stuff, that's the mycelium that's totally taken over the substrate. So once we get to that point, it's ready to produce mushrooms for us. Once the bags are finished in here, they're fully colonised. It's time to actually grow mushrooms. So we move them out of here and we move them into the next room.
So I guess that you're creating a bit of humidity in here as well?
Yeah, you can see a bit of the fog. It'll probably kick back on in a sec as well.
Forest action.
Yeah. Once the block's ready to grow mushrooms, we take it, we cut a little cross in there, and we just basically give it a spot to grow. And then that just exposes the mycelium to the environment. So we basically bring it in here, give it a spot to grow, give it the right conditions, and then the mushrooms they do the rest themselves. We've got all the lion's manes up on these shelves here. So these are a really beautiful mushroom with the little hairs coming out. Some nice yellow oysters up here, real nice bright colour. So we grow probably in total about 10 to 15 different varieties at any one time. We've got about 5 or 6 different oyster mushrooms in different colours. King oyster as well, black pearl oyster, lion's mane, coral tooth, pepinos, chestnuts, shimijis, shiitakes. As much as we can grow, we do try and grow. One of my favourites, these are the pepinos. They've got a nice, beautiful, big crunchy stem. Nice. Yeah, lovely flavour with those ones. You can see this is the native Australian coral tooth. So this one's the same family as the lion's mane, but obviously
I was going to say
much less dense. Yeah. So it changes seasonally as well. So throughout the year, different times of the year, there's sort of more or less that we can grow during that season as the weather changes a bit.
And I guess you're always like experimenting with some new...
Always, yeah, the more we can grow, the better as far as I see it. You know, the more we can, bring to our chefs and bring to our retail customers and just give them new and interesting things to try. That's what it's all about, really. So we do a market every weekend. So we do Widder Market up near Mullaney, which is once a month, and then every other Saturday we're down at Yandina. We also supply the Maple Street Co-op in Mullaney.
What do you find your biggest seller?
Well, I mean, these pepinos at the markets, these are getting really popular. The chefs love the pepinos and the chestnuts. Oysters are always popular, they're just kind of standard, versatile. Yeah. For me, the lion's mane, that's a really fun mushroom to cook with. It's so versatile, you can roast that.
We can slice it and fry it.
Slice it, fry it. You can squash it in the pan, squash it into a steak. You can crumb it and deep fry it. One of our favourite things is ripping the lion's mane into chunks, either crumbing it or putting it in a wet batter and deep frying it, and they come out like little sort of chicken nugget things. They're amazing. It's kind of feast or famine with us. If we're selling them all, I like to sell them all, but you know, if we have a bad week, you know, we'll take a few kilos home and eat them all week. But you know, last week we did like a mushroom souvlaki. Just chucked them in a big roasting pan with some spices, roasted them up with some wraps and just like a cucumber and parsley salad, some garlic yogurt, and amazing. Use them like a meat replacement basically.
How good, how good.
So we're also doing mushroom workshops to help people get growing at home on their own. You know, it's not an easy thing to just kind of figure out. So we've got the knowledge and we want to share that with people. So if you head to our Instagram, there's a link in the bio there. It'll take you to the booking page. I think we've got one up for sale at the moment, but next year we're going to be bringing in a whole range of different workshops as well.
So today I just got some of these beautiful mushrooms from Dan up at Mountaintop. I'm going to do a risotto with it. We've got a piopini here, so this guy I've sort of made a 2% salt brine, and I've just soaked that with some dried porcini as well, just add a bit of umami. It's going to be my base stock I'm going to use in the risotto, just to give it that real hit. Slice these about 5mm thick. These ones I'm going to saute with the black garlic cum honey, little white balsamic, and they're going to be finished on top of the risotto, and they'll add a little bit of sweetness. So I'm just going to throw the garlic and thyme in on low heat first. So this is just going to temper that flavour all through the oil. Add our king oysters in. Once these get a little bit of a golden colour, I'll deglaze a little bit of shardy, and I've got a little bit of white balsamic vinegar. Black garlic cum honey. Got a nice smoky, nutty, natural sweetness in there. Fresh lemon, beautiful and glazed. So I'll leave them to the side now, ready to plate up after. So this is the stock I was saying about earlier. The salt brings, you know, a lot of the moisture out, all the flavour out like a natural stock. I've added some dried porcini in there, just add a bit of extra umami. Strain that one off, and I'll use a couple of these guys in the base. A few extra of these beautiful oyster mushroom. And if you look at the rich, dark, 100% umami, they're delicious. That's going to be our stock for our risotto. So risotto rice arborio. So I've pre-cooked this a little bit, like sort of par cooked, so it's still quite al dente. So again, we start off a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of garlic going in there. My oyster mushrooms and some of those piopinis. A little bit of thyme. So because I've already got the arborio par cooked, I won't put it in straight away. Bit of sea salt and pepper. And again, I'm just going to deglaze this one from white wine. My rice. And then we've got this beautiful stock from earlier. So I'll add this one gradually, and I can control the consistency of the risotto. And so this one as well, I've got some fresh lemon juice. So now we'll get plenty of butter in there. So that's going to melt through, emulsify. Very important step. I've got some Kefla Gavira. Grana Padano, Pecorino, and kind of good Parmesan is good, but I'm using a Kefla Gavira because I'm here in Spiro. And this is like a strong bitey sheep's cheese. And finally, a little bit of chopped parsley. Yeah, it's good. There we have it, one mountaintop mushroom risotto.